Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to the finale. I'm Kingfisher, joined here by the Ace of Toronto. We've got a great matchup today as it's going to be KARN and Co. taking on OUTLAST Black. It's been an incredibly exciting week for the finale, from new teams getting new orgs, bunch of new faces in, and now with this matchup, one of these two teams will move into the top of the TPL division tonight. So with all that said, Ace, how excited are you to get into this game?
I'm beyond excited. I've been watching KARN & Co. for a little while now, did a lot of research last night, and I've been watching throughout the past as, you know, these weeks have led on. We're, I think week 5 or 6 now. So yeah, I mean, KARN & Co. really big, outstanding type of team, and then OUTLAST Black looking to bounce back from what was a deflating loss against Unks last week.
Yeah, OUTLAST Black certainly with a little bit more troubles in their schedule than we've seen on the side of KARN & Co. KARN & Co. sitting at 2-0 right now, but they are pretty even in points. KARN & Co. with 7, OUTLAST with 5. Like we said, we'll certainly talk to you later about all the standings implications involved with this game. These are two great teams that are matching up here today. I'm really excited to see what they have in store for us. I haven't had the privilege of casting either one yet, but I am excited to see kind of how these players put on.
Yep, I'm even more excited as we're rolling right on now into our rosters. These will be the players for KARN & Co. The usual roster that you are used to seeing: Carnage, Vic, Bands, Foresight, Zakilla, and Deity. Literally just the most standard lineup. I believe this has been their lineup for most of their time together, at least so far here in TPL XGS, as we are now going to take a quick look at OUTLAST Blacks as well, I'm assuming. But yeah, this is actually a really solid lineup. Vic Bands being a huge name, Carnage, of course, being a absolutely monstrous name, as he looks just as big as he is in game, I'm assuming. And then Zakilla, of course. Yeah, I mean, he's all about it. He's ready to throw down. He always is.
Yeah, you said it best. There's a lot of big names associated with this roster, and in case anyone's curious about the standings, they're tied for number 2 right now. They beat Unks in a previous week. They beat Turtle Tactics as well, so two of the bigger teams as well, right? These guys are on a roll. They're getting hot, and after this game, they could move into first. If they get a win, they will be alone in top of those standings. On the other side, OUTLAST Black needing their own win. If they take it in 2-1, we could see even a 3-way tie for first. There are so many exciting possibilities tonight. And speaking of OUTLAST Black, here's a look at their roster. It's going to be Braden, Stocky, Demented, Dexy, and Butcher.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the match last week, even though it was a little bit more of like a deflating type of loss against Unks, you still had people like Braze and Butcher going absolutely nuclear for you. I mean, just exactly what you needed them to do. It was a losing effort, but at the end of the day, they did as good as they could, both of them dropping 6+ kills throughout the 2 maps that they ended up playing. Of course, Demented was also in the mix as well for being a top player on the team. They've done somewhat well so far. They're 1-2, and I believe they only have either 1 or 2 more matches left of groups. So this will be a very important one as they look to try and take down the currently undefeated KARN & Co.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one, right? They've already played 3 of their 5 opponents. They need some points here to kind of get themselves back into the win column, because the couple that are sitting above them right now, I think Certified Loverboys and KARN & Co. have both only played 2 matches, so they're going to have more opportunities to get some more of those points, kind of move them ahead in that standings. Every map's big, this one just bigger, but they put up some fight. I mean, they only lost 1-2 to the Certified Loverboys, formerly the Jinxie Loyals, in case anyone was curious about that small name change. But yeah, this is a team with a lot of fight, and they know that they need to come into this game swinging.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, KARN & Co. beat the Unks in their first matchup. It was somewhat of a decent match, to say the very least. Had a lot of different people going crazy. And then on the other end of it, OUTLAST Black has kind of had a rocky go of it so far, but as we roll right on into our map vetoes, we will be seeing where these teams will be playing. Border, Chalet, Sky, and Club being the first 4 off the board. Lair and Con being the 2 maps to follow. Con being an important one, in my opinion, when it comes to OUTLAST Black making sure that they ban that map, because Con was an important map, so was Club, when it comes to the match with Turtle Tactics, I believe, that KARN & Co. had.
Yeah, Carnico did take that one 2-1 over Turtle Tactics, but as far as the maps we get, it's going to be Bank, Labs, and Cafe. We were going over pregame, you know, very interesting maps for these guys, especially when we go on to Labs, right, in second. It's been banned out a lot by Carnico. Neither of these teams actually have had the pleasure of playing on it, so that one's going to be a real toss-up, but first we gotta look to Bank. Carnico want to know on Bank right now, while Outlast Black lost their only map of it, so it's going to be a very important tone setter, and starting on the attack as well speaks to a lot of confidence here from Outlast. Sorry, they are in defense, it looks like. Small mix-up.
Outlast starting on defense isn't anything that we're too new to. If you're a big Outlast Black fan, or you know, have been watching their matches so far in TPL, they love their defensive starts. This is where they feel they can get the hottest start and get it going. They have only won one match so far, but in all 3 of them that they have played, they started on defense. So when they won that one match, they kind of used the defense. I can't remember if it went into overtime or not. I'm pretty sure it was just them winning out on attack though. So either way, they know that they're prominent on both, but they feel as though they could probably get a little bit hotter of a start if they start on defense. That's something that they've done, I think, in every map that they have played so far within their 3 matches.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense, especially for Bank, right? You know, the attackers certainly do have some success when going against Bank, but it is still a traditionally defender-sided map. It's what you want to start up. It is the tone setter, so if you can pick up some rounds here, really get yourself comfortable on this kind of familiar map, you know, everybody knows how to play Bank, so we'll see if Outlast are good enough to stop KARN & Co., who look to continue their winning ways. Map number 1 is right around the corner for both these teams. We talked about it a ton. There is so much at stake for this matchup, and we are going to jump right into the ban phase for map 1.
Yeah, and when it comes down to it, I've seen KARN & Co. They've only played, I believe, 4, maybe 5, I think it was 5 actually, matches so far, and either Montaigne or Blitz have been the main 2 attacking bans that they have had. It's just they do not like playing against shields. Outlast Black don't, I'm sorry. I was saying KARN & Co., but Outlast Black with the 3 matches that they've played was ringing through my mind. Yeah, they don't like playing shields at all. It's either Blackbeard or Montaigne. It's not usually Blitz. Dokebi is one that I've seen a lot of different teams ban here and there. Dokebi on Bank, I think, can be one of the more important attackers. You're not willing to get rid of you're not willing to get rid of another shield because of how open quite a few different sites on this map can be. So, you know, you want to get rid of one important shield, and then you've got another important shield like a Blitz that you feel you can just kind of predict on certain sites.
Shield operator is always so useful. I think Lobby in particular on Bank sees a lot of shield play recently. You know, you send Monty up the lobby stairs, see what happens, try to open that elevator wall. Interesting ban here in Echo. I like the ban. There are some teams that just love to play Echo on Bank. I don't know if KARN & Co. is one of them. Didn't have the pleasure of watching their victory on this map, but he can be a real debilitating factor when you're going against him, especially on this basement site where we see Outlast going first. And I also like KARN & Co. banning away the Dokeby. Like you said, right? On Bank, it's such an important operator. There are so many cams, so much intel. Keeping the Blitz open, keeping the Blackbeard open, giving themselves those tools is smart, though as for right now, they don't have either of them. Could be expecting an upstairs bomb site, but we'll see how the operator lineup switches up.
It's definitely a possibility, and one thing I do want to say as you talk about the victory that KARN & Co. have had on Bank, it was 7-5 against Unks in week 1, I believe, where it was Montaigne and Kaid were their bans. Outlast Black took the Montaigne ban from KARN & Co., and they realized then at that point that they really wanted to get rid of that Kaid because it was what ended up helping them win within that last matchup that they have had here on Bank. And vice versa, the Bank match that Outlast Black have had so far this season, they are 0-1 on it. It was a map 3 against Certified Lover Boys, formerly known as Jinxie Loyals, and they lost 7-4. Their bans were also Montaigne and Kaid that night.
Round number 1 on the horizon. We do see the shield come out. Deity gonna switch to that Blackbeard as Zakilla. Gonna head over onto the Buck. Gonna be fairly normal top-down clear, and this is a strat we see more teams employing when we get to Bank, putting the player inside an open area, opening that hatch just to waste a little time. With that Ying, though, could have some trouble doing that. There's another looking close inside an elevator, so Dexy will be available for support. Fuzzgetter needs it here on the Goya.
He had a real good shot at shooting him right through the wall if he would have just held on for a little bit longer. Now it seems like he might have something on Butcher here, but instead Butcher falls, and I'm not even sure if Hani really even knew that he had hit Butcher at all.
Definitely unclear, but the result now the same. Top floor control almost entirely on the side of KARN & Co. Only one left to deal with, and as we say it, Dexy will drop the elevators, so now full map control with still 2 minutes left to play. This is really nice pacing from KARN & Co. This is exactly what you want to see an attacking team do on Bank. We'll see if the defense can hold out, though. There is still a lot of utility from these attackers that they have to survive through, and with no Kai, that means Hibana will open all these hatches very easily.
And see, the thing about it is you don't always have to use all of your Hibanas on these hatches. Looking at it now, Hani has used both of the hard breach charges that Ying comes equipped with. Both of them are at least down. I believe one of them might have either been frozen or gotten destroyed. But either way, that leaves more Hibana pellets in Carnage's back pocket that he can use for moments like this, getting ready for the plant. This is the standard basement defense plant. You're going to have to hope that your Goyos don't get popped prematurely and that your smoke stays alive long enough to be able to stall this out with his canisters. He still has 3 left.
And there goes the Twitch drone to get those Goyo canisters right as you're talking about it. So the smoke just became the most important member to this defense. There's a minute left for the attackers, so should be plenty of time, but they have to bait out these smoke canisters. Everybody knows where this diffuser is going to go down, and now it's going to be up to the rest of the attackers to stop them. Zing will help as the first Candela goes out. Looks like they might be trying to bait a smoke, and it will work as Demented going to throw the first, and Carnage goes down to the C4. One big tool gone, and the first kill of the board. On now for the defenders, but it's all falling apart. KARN & Co., with only 2 left remaining, are going to have to push into the waiting angles of OUTLAST Black, who've defended this bomb site perfectly. 20 seconds left to go for the attackers to try to get something down, but now with defenders lurking on the first floor, Dexy upstairs, Butcher down, and it's a flawless round for OUTLAST Black to start us off.
Dexy and Butcher go absolutely huge for the team exactly when they knew they needed to. The big nitro kill that stopped the plant. It's such an easy and thought about plant. Like, you had a pretty good idea when you heard the Hibana pellets going off and when you saw the Twitch getting rid of the Goyos prematurely. You had a pretty good idea what was going to happen. If you could stay alive long enough to throw a nitro over there, it was going to get a kill almost regardless. It ended up getting the most important kill, I think, within that round, and then you just leave Dexy and Butcher to just go ham with their guns out, straight up.
Yeah, that was a really impressive defense from OUTLAST Black, because on the other side, KARN & Co., they played that so well. They got all the roamers back into sight in under a minute. You know, they had the hatches open, had all the angles, just couldn't get it done. Raw gun skill wins out. Now, this is interesting from OUTLAST. You know, there are some teams that do like going that basement first, but normally pretty much everybody goes second floor next. This open area, it is the preferred tertiary bomb site, but I gotta wonder why they're avoiding the top floor, maybe not comfortable on it, maybe think KARN & Co. is too good attacking it. But either way, this round should be a pretty big eye-opener into the kind of strategy of both of these teams.
Hey, I mean, anything is possible. You're exactly correct when you say that this could be somewhat of an eye-opener when it comes to the strategy, because open area, I feel, is one of, if not the best tertiary bomb site when it comes to just knowing that you have, even if it's a little, tiny advantage over your opponents. And right now it's 1-0 OUTLAST Black. They feel as though that they are a little bit more prominent on this site than they may be on another site that they feel that they can wait on and keep in their back pocket. As Butcher continues to go big and he takes the killer out early, he might be on for another one as well. It's just when you have the raw gun strength that OUTLAST Black are showing right now, you have time to let it hang a little bit.
Could be another fight on the horizon as Warden, though, going to turn his back. Butcher heads out the doorway, so now Deity in a prime position with the SMG-11 if Warden doesn't realize. It's an interesting setup as well from OUTLAST. They have no pressure on this second floor, but KARN & Co. are on a lot of repels, are in the basement. They're not taking advantage of that second floor space just yet, and with 2 C4s on the board, might want to be avoiding this big play. But over a minute gone, they will have to make something start working, and it looks like Vic over in ATM is going to start to make entry on that lobby side.
He's looking to make entry, and at the same time, you still have the defenders in the correct positions as, look at that, Huzgetter could not read his name until right now. It takes Carnage out, and now Carnage is off the board early for the second straight round. And look at that, he was in the right place at the right time, and it was just, everything was flowing perfectly for the defenders, as they might not know where Dexy is here. Huzgetter was able to castle himself right back off after getting that kill, making it just that much harder for them to pursue him and take him out during his rotate back to site.
And Huzgetter should have a good fight here too. With the EMP, he can outduel that SMG-11 from the Amaru. Lisa Length, it looks like they have pushed a player out of elevators. Dexy will fall in the basement. Great kill there by Hani. And the rest of the KARN & Co team to get that kill. 50 seconds remaining. And a nice angle taken by the defender. I believe it's still Huzgetter playing with that UMP inside of the little kitchen. See just how well they can impact this. Deity is at a tough angle here. This is going to be a really difficult kill to get, and he won't get it at all. Huzgetter drops, and will pick up his second of the round. A great kill by the Casuals. Now KARN & Co are running out of time, and with those Goyos popping, options limited. Vic Band takes one, turreted out immediately by the Castle. He's looking for the Quadra, and he'll get it. What a round from the Huzgetter.
Huzgetter going crazy for the team whenever he knew he needed to. Honestly, it was a really good angle held on top of that desk with the Azami barricade in front of him, as well as the rotate that he had back into sight after he had gotten that very pivotal opening kill. It just made it all the more difficult for the Amaru to be able to chase him into sight, because you then knew and heard that she had to punch it down. She didn't bring hard breach charges. She had stun grenades. It made everything a lot harder, along with the shotgun, of course. You might not have even gotten it down from that distance if you were to have gotten the drop on him. So yeah, Huzgetter was in the right place at the right time that entire round, and it cost KARN & Co again, as they're now down 0-2.
Definitely not the start you want to see from KARN & Co. I mean, a 2-0 start for the defense on Bank isn't out of the ordinary, right? We talked about it in pregame. Bank is still somewhat a defensive side of map, and it looks like Outlast Black know what they're doing, but the big thing concerning me is we're not seeing the trades, we're not seeing a whole ton of utility usage, despite what's appeared to me at least like a very conservative roam game from Outlast Black. We see a lot of these teams that have these dominant defenses really stretch out far, they're getting big kills, they're slowing the attackers down. They're giving KARN & Co all the space in the world right now, they're just not capitalizing on it yet.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, you look at what they did last time they were on Bank. They only won 2 defending rounds, and they only won 2 attacking rounds against former Jinxie Loyals, now certified lover boys. And it just came down to the fact that they didn't have as good of a defense as they wish they would have, because Jinxie Loyals, aka, or now known as certified lover boy, ended up getting 4 attacking wins in basically securing their victory off of that almost alone, based on what Outlast Black's former scorecard had said. So it seems as though they've definitely done their preparation here on Bank defense, to say the least, since the last time they played it, as Huzgetter gets caught out there on his way back, and now he's back in sight.
Yeah, the Mira was in a pretty dangerous position, but the players outside on Repel weren't peeking the windows at the right time, so we'll be able to get back to the site. Not running anything like that Zero to keep the lobby controlled either, so they're going to have to send somebody out a drone. It looks like it's Vic Bands right now to kind of be watching for any of these runouts. Interesting plays. Huzgetter just now getting the second Mira down.
Interesting mirror.
Falling back to the closet. But without this wall reinforce, could come into a lot of pressure. Demented on the Bandit. It's going to have to defend him, and Deity will get Huzgetter. Just as we mentioned it, the Mira will fall. First death for 5 big kills for Huzgetter.
He didn't have the support that he wished he did, and now Demented can stay and, I mean, get value out of staying there. Although Deity does swing around after getting 1 kill, he gets another. Butcher then takes Deity out, and it's a little bit more of like a trade back and forth now. As the smokes are going down, you're going to want to impact that. He does just that. He's not going to be able to get a kill on that window, as the plant is now down.
And this shield now is about to be a huge element in this post plant for KARN & Co. With the popping of the Goyo, Dexy now has to rotate through site, can't make it through Banana, so Carnage on this Repel to be more than enough to deny the plant. They're going to have to try to go for some sort of jump out. Otherwise, we'll very easily be able to shut it down. Vic won't get the blind as Blitz. Can't afford to die here. Needs to get this kill, but he won't. And now it's a 2-on-1 post plant. 10 seconds left to go. They know exactly where Carnage is. Has to get this kill, and he will. Now this Goyo needs to get the plant hidden behind the bomb chassis, but it won't matter. Carnage with 2, KARN & Co on the board in an impressive attack from them.
Carnage finally not dying either first or second makes the round just a complete 180 from what we had seen. These past two rounds 1 and 2, we saw a lot of just Carnage being caught out, being the first or the second death on the team. And it's not so much to say as the team scrambled, but it was more like they had a harder time committing to strats. And now he stays alive long enough. He has a very pivotal role on the Capital. Shoots all his bolts out, makes sure that the plant is in the perfect spot. It ends up working out for him. He stays alive long enough to make it 1-2 now. Outlast Black still on top.
Yeah, it was a much better round there by KARN and Co. And what we finally wanted to see, right? Started to get those trades, started to get the important kills when they needed them. Still left in an unfavorable post-plant, but Carnage, to his credit, played it beautifully, really well done there by the Capital. Now the question is, can they build on this momentum? They did a great job in the first round by, eliminating the roamers, pushing everybody back to site. The execution was, just lacking on the side of KARN and Co. So we'll see if they can fix it this time. It looks like there's a bigger roam this time with Husgetter on the Vigil here on the top floor. Theoretically, it should be providing a lot of support to the players on first, Dex and Butcher.
And see, you've got Zach on the Jackal to possibly kind of scope out any extra roamers, but at the same time, you've got such a execute-heavy lineup here. You've got Carnage on the Sins. You've got Deity on the Blackbeard. He could very well be following Zach, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Ani and Vic are going to be off doing their own thing, but also probably trying to be somewhat near Carnage to be able to give him the backup that he needs. So it's really a 3v2 versus 5, but at the end of the day, you also have the roamers that are going to come into play. Vigil can turn off the Jackal track if he turns his ability on. So it's a wait around and see type of game right now from the roam clearers of KARN and Co. Sorry.
Yeah, interested that Husgetter there even allowed a single Jackal track to ping out. Now they know he's not on the top floor. Outlast Black, though, do have much more members on the first floor this time around. It's going to be 4 instead of the 2 they had last time. See just how long they stay there for. Hani from outside was able to win some nice shots. It really scared him off that hatch last time. Looks like he's going to try to do the same this time, but Deity on this Blackbeard will have to be a force to be reckoned with because these defenders are not moving. They're holding strong halfway through this round on the first floor.
I would like to think some comms might be on Husgetter right now, which is why Deity is trying to make sure that he watches his teammates' backs and even his own back, in all honesty. He doesn't want to get snuck up on by Husgetter, who was sitting there. And look at that, caught out in the open, Vic versus Butcher, and Butcher wins that one. Vic goes down. He can't even finish it off with an impact grenade. He's going to have to go as far as main entrance in order to get the kill, but Butcher does get the opening one onto Vic. Pretty pivotal, I will say. He might be able to get another one here, but time also may be what is time stalling, maybe what Deity is doing for the team.
It looks like it, and now with the Vigil and Garage, they can try to run back at some sort of a crossfire, but the attackers just posted up, wasting so much time, and he gets another. You can't let that happen, Butcher. What a play outside as Deity finally shuts it down, but the damage is done. 30 seconds left to go. The Goyo cans are about to start popping, and this round looks like a surefire victory for Outlast. Unless KARN & Co. can do something right now, and on the hatch, looks like it's going to be a drop plate inside of the bomb site. Don't have much else that they can go on. And Candela's out. Won't blind the smoke, though. Demented in an important position. Should get the first, and he will. Can he get the second? Yes, he can. Demented with 2. Husgetter with another, and Outlast Black with another dominant defensive round here in the basement.
Wow. That's exactly what the defenders were hoping for. You were hoping to push them out of their comfort zone and make it to where they had no other option but to fall hatches or just play right into your hands. That's exactly what Outlast Black did. They are looking really, really good over a very game KARN & Co. team right now.
Oh, I mean, this replay is just perfect. That's the backbreaker of the round there for KARN & Co. Like, losing one player to the Goyo was okay, honestly. Vic should have had the kill, but that is neither here nor there. But getting the Goyo, you have to do. You cannot lose one, especially when you got constant pings the whole time. Really unfortunate. The time, just another aspect. We always talk on defense, how the time really is the 6th man of the squad. You see it great there. I mean, KARN & Co. after taking so long to hunt down the Goyo, just weren't able to do what they wanted, had to push into the unsavory angles, and now they're down 3-1 because of it. Outlast Black with a dominant defensive half. They won this round fairly successfully as well, back in round number 2. We'll see if their defense is as good this time around.
Yeah, I mean, this is, in all honesty, for all the KARN & Co fans out there, you'll know that this is night and day compared to the last time they played Bank. It was against the Unks. They won 5 attacking rounds they won 5 attacking rounds and then won 2 defending rounds. So winning 5 attacking rounds on Bank back then against the Unks, what happened? Were are Outlast Black a little bit more prepared from the last time they played it against Certified Lover Boys in the way that they lost? Or is it more about KARN & Co just getting a little rusty on the map? Maybe they didn't scrim it as much. They did really well against the Unks, but of course that was their first match. This is now their third, so that was a decent amount of time ago. It all depends on how actually prepared you are for certain maps.
Butcher gonna fall down the hatch, won't contest inside of the janitor's closet. Getter, or I believe Stocky also, for anyone wondering. I think it is Stocky, just playing under a different name. Been having a really nice map so far, sitting at 6-1. Is now back inside this power position he found himself in last time.
Good position.
KARN & Co though. Yeah, now with more tools to deal with it though, the Ashe and the Zofia could equally force this castle out of position. They have a ram as well. So I don't believe the Stocky is going to be able to find the same level of success, but we will just have to wait and see. KARN & Co yet again doing a nice job roam clearing, but we need to see them translate it into a round victory.
We need to see it translate into a round victory. This might be the time that they get around to doing such a thing. It's not a guarantee, but they have to feel as though they're at least a little bit more prepared for this site, especially when they brought Ashe and Zofia now at this point. They're trying to push Dexy out of the elevator. They successfully push him out where he was last time and got so much value. Hani ends up taking Demented out, though, to start us off. And look at that. Husgetter is now put in a precarious position, and Deity catches him peeking.
The last bullet in the mag, the most important there is Zofia will take down the castle 5v3 now in favor of KARN & Co on the attack, and Deity has some information on the player lurking up, but it won't matter. Dexy gets the kill. These Goyos continue to be sneaky for Outlast Black, now left in the 2v4. You know exactly where the defenders are, and the plant will go down. Dexy from the side angle needs to get one on this flank, but with the player on the main staircase, it can be difficult to do. That's going to be Vic just sitting in wait. The Vector going to find the shots and will control the recoil enough, but the Ashe with the refrag, it's now on to Braze. Find Vic and Carnage. But with both playing out of sight, gonna need to do a lot of work. Will get the kill onto Carnage. It's now all on Vic. Knows where the diffuser is. Can't watch it from above. Could drop down the hatch whenever the diffuser goes, and that will be the play. Braze needs to find this kill and get off, but it won't happen. Vic with the kill. KARN & Co with the round, and just when they seem down and out, they start a monumental comeback.
And KARN & Co looks so much better within that attack. As I was speaking about how good they have done previously in their attacks on Bank so far throughout TPL XGS here, and now they're looking better. They looked a lot better then. It's like the strats that Outlast Black went with last time that won them the round on that site did not work at all. You cannot continue to do something that might have only worked once. It's probably going to fail 2 or 3 more times if you continue to try it against such a malleable type of team that KARN & Co is. They will take all of the information, they will sponge it all up, and then their comms will be flowing, and they will know exactly where you're going to be, what you're going to do. Not to mention their drones, the fact that they can just straight up see you trying to get an opening pick, castle yourself back in sight, rotating. They knew that you were going to do it again. They were 20 times more prepared this time. Bringing the right attacker lineup. They're looking to bring somewhat of a similar lineup that won them the round last time here again. So it's like they're prepared for anything, and they're proving it now by trying to mount this comeback.
Yeah, Outlast keeping a pretty consistent round rotation. Not going to try to replay that first floor site. Instead, we'll go back to the top floor where they lost back in round number 3. And if KARN & Co can take this attacking round, as far as I'm concerned, after those big 2 opening rounds by Outlast, a 3-3 split is more than enough on Bank. If you're the attackers, you're happy with that. Outlast trying to make it a 4th, which I think would be about the expected round differential for a Bank game. So really going to be an important round to see who will be favored going into the second half of this match.
And you know, you would think that it would be the favored, but it was they won 2 and lost 2 of their defending and attacking last time they were on bank. So, I mean, I believe it was 3-3, if I'm not mistaken. It could have been 4-2 for Certified Lover Boys last time they played, but let's get back to what we are currently watching here. Zakilla is the first one off the board. See, now it is falling apart slowly but surely. Even though they seem as though they have everything together, Karnico are now down a person early. Zach still without a kill, by the way.
Yeah, that is not what we're used to seeing from Zach. Hopefully he comes alive in the defending half of the game. Luckily for him, though, the rest of KARN and Co., well, this, I mean, the KD lines aren't incredible, but they are picking up the slack. They do have 2 rounds, looking to make it a 3rd here. With the Ash, with the Zofia that we were talking about, they can easily deal with the mirrors here from Huzgetter on this closet wall. Looks like they already took down 1. He deployed the 2nd, and Deity yet again pushing up this staircase. Won't find any there. There is a player in elevator, and they'll get the kill. Demented peeking out.
Didn't drone it out.
Reveal themselves. Yeah. When missed round in round number 3, it will happen again here in round 6, and Huzgetter will fall inside the meeting room. It looks like he can't be Rezo. Yeah, they're gonna have to peek this, and the Capitao Firebolt misses as well. Capitao is so close, but because the Fire Blaze can't swing, Bonnie goes down as well. It's a 4v2, but with 1 on the ground, there is still hope for KARN and Co. Need to find this kill in the closet, but they won't. Vic Bands, the only member left remaining, and he is stuck inside of the site.
He's stuck right there in that little hallway. He knows that he is just, it's inevitable. He has to play for kills now with 40 seconds left. He does not have diffuser. He's got a very, very, very good gun in his hands, though. And if I know Vic Bands, you can't count him out, not at all. He just needs a little bit of information, a little bit of push, and he will be able to take a mile from Outlast Black. But I don't know if he's going to be able to get that with no utility left to his name at all. It looks as though Braze is going to stay exactly where he was. The double Mira setup, one of them broken, an absolutely insane setup there, as Outlast Black are looking a lot better than I would have expected them to look, especially on bank coming into it. 4-2 split for them.
Yeah, great split for the defense, and it feels like we're in an age of siege. Seeing the 3-3s is just becoming more and more common. The attack keeps on getting better, but the defense holds out this time, and we touched on it in the pregame. This is such an important victory for Outlast.
It is.
Move themselves from 4th all the way into 1st with a big win here, and that is exactly what they are trying to do. KARN and Co. now onto the defense, so luckily, we talked about it in the first half. I'm sure we'll mention it plenty more times. You want to be on defense on bank, especially on this downstairs site. They have Goyo, Smoke, the Fenrir, as much as they need. I'm interested to see how much they roam on this. Outlast Black really didn't have a massive roam game. They fell off their angles fairly early on in round 1. Less so in round 4, but still played a similar setup.
Yeah, I mean, and when you look at it, KARN & Co. picked this map. KARN & Co. picked this map last time they played it against Unks back in week 1. And you would have thought that they were a little bit more confident in the way that they could attack it. But a team that is so prominent on the defense, they have done nothing but defend first in every map that they have played so far within TPL XGS. It was, I mean, and you look at how important of a defending map that bank is, it was almost inevitable that Outlast Black would have at least a little bit of an advantage coming into the split here, and now 4-2, I mean, that's exactly what ended up happening.
I want to see how they use this shield as well. We saw a little bit of shield play from KARN & Co. It never really did that much though. The Blitz, when they attacked top floor, didn't do a whole ton. Back in round number 3, the Blackbeard wasn't able to get it done in round 4. Now we'll see what Huzgetter is able to do with the deployable shield this time around for Outlast. They do have top floor control. Still a couple players on that first floor in open area and elevators, which to be expected here from the defense. It looks like they plugged up that wall that was giving them a lot of trouble sitting on the hatches last time.
It proves that these two teams, especially KARN & Co., are not ones to just take the reason why they lost laying down. Something, I mean, I will say, not droning out elevator was a big misplay, but everything else that has attributed to the losses so far of KARN & Co., they have been really good about, as Dexy takes out Deity quick, fast, and in a hurry. He saw him standing there, and that's all it took.
Great kill there from Dexy, as now that's going to force Zach to drop as well. So just like we saw KARN & Co. back in round number 1, Outlast Black will control the entire map with plenty of time to spare. Now the problem is we saw the time crunch rather back in round number 4. Should happen again here in round 7. You still have the Goyos, you still have the smoke canisters. From the looks of it, I don't think Dexy has taken any out with the Twitch drone yet. Still has one upstairs, not sure where they are in the basement. But there is a ton of utility left for the defenders. They still have a C4 in pocket too from Vic.
He did take one default out from what I saw. He might have taken another one out, but either way. Look at this, Vic. He didn't realize it was the shield, and he gets pinched on the blue stairway. Demented is hurt pretty bad. Even just a little bit of that fire would take him out ASAP. But a very nice close in and kill, type of kill from the attackers. They're looking to continue their pressure here. You've got the Grimbees, you've got the smoke canisters. Zach, just keep doing what you're doing. Huzgetter, the planter, is down now.
And that's a huge kill from Zach. Dexy went for the flank and it just didn't work out. Now they have to force themselves into sight. Honey, the last member remaining. They know where he is. 10 seconds to go. Demented gonna start this diffuser and the Fenrir will be unable to stop it. Braze with the kill. Outlast with the win, and what a hectic round that was in the last few seconds.
Wow. Absolutely unadulterated just chaos there at the end of that. I mean, everything just started falling in the exact correct direction for Outlast Black, and look at that. KARN and Co. timeout. It was timeout time for them. They knew that they needed it. Carnage really needs to get his team's head in the game here. They've all been playing somewhat well. I will say, you got to wake Zach up. He gets his 2 here. It's the only 2 that he has. He was 0-6 at one point, I believe, coming into this past round. You've got to wake Zach up. He's usually a very big player for you. And on the opposite side, Outlast Black, you're taking this you're taking the timeout that KARN and Co. are having right now, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, Butcher has 10, exactly where he left off with 9 in the last map that they played against Unks last week. I mean, he is the gun that you wanted to get going. He is going early, and that's exactly what is helping boost Outlast Black past KARN and Co. right now. KARN and Co. had a very good outing last time they played Bank, but they just didn't play against Outlast Black, starting on defense. How prominent Outlast Black have been starting on the defense, and once they get that lead, they're prone to stick with it.
Yeah, and you talked about when we were going over the Outlast Black rosters, how Butcher and Braze, the top 2 fraggers here for Outlast Black, they're putting that to the truth. 7-2, 10-5, 2 incredible stat lines from those players. Interestingly, KARN and Co. gonna go upstairs this time. I think I say it a lot, especially on a map like Bank. The basement site is so preferred, and I don't love teams replaying sites a whole ton when they lose them. But on a site like that, it's hard to move away from. Now going upstairs, you're going to a much more attacker-friendly, still defender-sided site, but they are gonna have to do some work. And like you said, need to get Zach into the kills, and Anazami should have the perfect operator to do that with.
When it comes down to it, I said it, I meant it, it was correct through and through. Braze, Butcher, the 2 guns you need to get going early. Both of them had 7+ on both individual separate maps that they played against Unks last week. So they were both on fire. They're continuing their momentum, and it's what's really been helping Outlast Black. I mean, even throughout the attack that we just saw, those 2, I believe, both got either 1 or 2. They were just continuing to be as prominent as they are for this team, and it's for good reason. When it comes down to KARN and Co., though, yes, get Zach going and get him going fast.
Yeah, that has to be the key to success here for KARN and Co. They're going to need the majority of the next defensive rounds, at least for the next 5, if they want a chance at overtime. But that being said, it's not match point yet. They still have a chance to take it out right now. Is going to be what they're shooting for. Zach here, an important position on this, what is it, overturned bookshelf? Either way, going to be focus of a lot of crossfires from this attack, and we'll be able to get out of the perilous spot. Good on them, but now this castle barricade going to have to hold strong, and with the Habana on the other team, might not be for too long.
It might not be, but at the end of the day, as long as you use a little bit of your utility, you've done good enough.
Very true. KARN and Co. have wasted a lot of time as there's only a minute and a half left in this round. Now Outlast Black have really yet to make any big entry. They do have Huzgetter inside on top square, but that is just inside the doorway. To start forcing out some of these anchors, Carnage here in this closet with the shotgun is going to be an incredibly difficult angle to push. Nice job onto the mute jammer means this wall now can come open, so with these hard breachers we see on the side of Outlast Black, it could really put some pressure on as KARN just gonna shuffle the mute jammer around.
He had to. He had to. The prominence that Dexy has had as of right now so far on that Twitch drone, still having one in his back pocket, just unspoken for at this point. I mean, it's just what has to be done. Twitch being as important of an op as she is, along with now Butcher is taking a page out of Carnage's playbook. He is on the Sins, and look at that. Dexy being as prominent as he is, I will say it again, he even gets a cheeky little zap onto Zach before his last Twitch drone gets taken down. I mean, it's what you've needed. He's so prominent with the DMR in his hand, just keep him going.
Yeah, but now there are problems because there's only 30 seconds and they have to jump into the windows and will do just that, and they get a kill onto Deity somehow. Raze is going to go for the plant behind this A chassis. With the walls reinforced, the mute will not be able to stop it. Vic Bands fall, so does Carnage. It's all on Hani. What happened to KARN and Co? Outlast Black just decide they want this round, and they're going to take it. It's a flawless attack out of nowhere. Outlast Black put themselves on match point.
Flawless. They knew that it needed to be flawless. They knew that they could not show their hand. They knew that they had to keep a few cards in their sleeve. They went with the most default attack that you could have ever done. Now, I will say the Sins is a little bit of an iffy type of pick. It ended up kind of working out, kind of not. I can understand why you might not have wanted to use the PD. I think it's the PDF. Yeah, I can understand why you might not have wanted to use the PDF. Ended up using it anyway. Little shaky aim there, but he ends up shooting through the wall and getting the kill anyway, so it didn't matter. And when it came down to it, yeah, it was just one of the more standard attacker lineups that you could have saw, and it was, let's all just rappel on a window. Basically, everyone was repelled on a window. All of the utility was coming straight through the windows. It was just sending KARN and Co into a frenzy. They did not know how to deal with Dexy's Twitch. I feel like that was a very big part of that last round. And it just came down to the fact that KARN and Co weren't ready for it. When the time came, they weren't ready for it. And Outlast Black, a flawless victory, by the way. They have one more round left to go in order to even their own personal score up at 1-1 on bank if they win this one here against KARN and Co map 1.
That was such a surprising round for me, too. I thought there was no way Outlast Black were taking that.
I was thinking the same.
Left. There wasn't even anybody in the building. They had a player in top square who just swung in the windows and got their kills. Now, we still see an interesting bomb sites. They can go upstairs, they can go to the basement. They are going to the first floor, which, as you said earlier, as far as tertiary sites go in Rainbow Six Siege, it's one of the better ones.
It is.
Now, you face a much more difficult position. This one
setup by
always
Big.
going to the defenders. Yeah, this is interesting.
I love this setup.
Should have a hatch close to, so can drop down without something like Azafia. That castle barricade should be relatively safe to his left.
Oh, if he wastes as much time as he knows he needs to here, this could prove big for KARN and Co. And the same could go for Deity. Deity is up here making sure that he gets rid of anyone who is pushing. Now, I will say Deity might not be the best person to keep up here on this, being as prominent as a defender as Smoke is. But either way, you do still have Carnage downstairs. He is mute. He's got that shotgun. And, I mean, what can I say? Outlast Black know that Zach aren't shooting. Zach isn't shooting, I mean. Vic gets his kill onto Huzgetter. He gets a kill in this insane setup. Deity blocks it off to make sure no one pushes him back through it. This actually is turning out to be a very interesting strategy and a very good setup. It's definitely paying off as of right now.
Yeah, they have to find a way to force these roamers out of this top floor if they want any chance of taking this round. And now Vic gonna get aggressive out of the glass, and it's gonna work. Up to 7-7 goes Vic Banzani. Gonna fall as well in the meantime to Braze now with 9 kills. Vic gets one onto Demented. They're still looking for this ace here. Braze needs to find a big kill here. It's gonna be Butcher instead moving in. Should find another in the closet, but no, Deity lives. Would have pushed it to a 2-on-2. Now left in a 1-on-3. Braze, if he gets a kill into Deity, can find the res, but that won't happen. Deity shuts it down, and Deity gets another nice position from the smoke. KARN and Co are not done yet.
Deity gets 2 very clean, very nice kills to end the round after Vic tormented them on that top floor. What a setup that was. I wasn't expecting it to work out the way that it did, but it was almost like you had them, I mean, this comes without saying, but it was almost like you had them there for a very specific reason. Like it was almost like you knew a certain push was coming, and they had the glass shooting through the wall, and then they had the people coming up square like they intended, the sledge, I believe. It all just worked out for Outlast, or for KARN & Co. there against Outlast Black.
Yes, it did. KARN & Co. now need the next 3 rounds in order to get themselves to overtime. It's not the most likely in the world, but it is certainly possible. And on the side of Outlast Black, only needing 1 more. We talked about all the different scenarios, or kind of briefly mentioned them, with first place when we went into this game. Regardless what the points stand, Outlast Black need a victory in this set if they want to move into a first place tie. KARN & Co. only need 1 map victory in order to guarantee themselves a spot at the top. So this is an important one for Outlast to put themselves up the advantage. We talked about it too, neither of these teams have played on Nighthaven Labs yet. It is a toss-up. It is anyone's guess right now what happens in map 2. I know Outlast Black want to go into that one with a 1 map plan.
Well, I will say, even though neither team has played Nighthaven so far within TPL XGS here, the bans fell in the way of Outlast Black to where they had the opportunity to pick this instead of picking something like Lair, which KARN & Co. are somewhat prominent on. I believe they've played it either once or twice so far. And yeah, so it came down to, it's just when it came to the maps, it was more of an enemy of my enemy type of situation. So you gotta feel as though they're somewhat prominent on it for it to be their pick, but at the same time, maybe the bans just fell in the way that they knew they couldn't take KARN & Co. to Lair, so maybe they just decided that the enemy of the enemy was Nighthaven in this situation.
We'll see what happens when we get on to map number 2, but we still got a conclusion here on map 1, Outlast Black. Only needing 1 of the next 3 rounds, KARN & Co. have to be flawless on this defense. And already seems to be going better this time around. Haven't lost a life early, and Carnage inside this elevator relatively safe on this smoke as long as he doesn't peek too aggressive. He needs to hold deities back.
Setup.
Yeah, they're playing.
I've not seen an angle like this. Well. They really are. That's an interesting angle.
Now they're gone. Bye, angles.
Sometimes it just happens like that. They realized they had a little bit too much pressure coming in from above them. They knew that they needed to rotate back down, and look at that. Dexy is already there. He was ready for it. Ready and waiting, so to speak, along with Braze coming in from the other side there. Now they have their own angles that KARN & Co. made for them that they could hold if they would wish. But as of now, with no Twitch drones left in Dexy's back pocket, it's all about making sure that Braze can do his job with no Hibana on the board and get these hatches open. The main one, I would say, gets open, but Butcher gets caught dropping, and Deity takes him out early.
That's a big pickup for KARN & Co. And now with 50 seconds left, gonna have to hold out just a little bit longer. They know there's one downstairs in server. It's gonna be Zach on this Guayo, and assisted by Vic as well. This will be a tough position for Outlast Black to take. It's looking like KARN & Co. are about to put their second on the board. They still have 30 more seconds where they have to do their work. This Blackbeard can be such a big asset, and that's a huge kill as Dexy takes down Deity, pushing in the garage yet again. Can't lose that, and can't lose the follow-up either. Carnage peaks along with the SMG-11, and it doesn't work out just like that.
Wow.
The attack have the upper hand, but a kill from Hani will even things up for the moment. 3v3, and with only 10 seconds left, they're gonna need kills. Huge one from Zach. In the meantime, the health bars are low, and the health bar is gone. Diffuser in hand for Braze. Needs to get this 1v2. Won't even find the first. KARN & Co. stay alive. Should find the planter, and indeed they do.
Oh, he only had a few seconds left there. I feel like if the attack would have just went a little faster with it, so to speak, he would have had at least a little bit more time. But yeah, they had a pretty good idea where he was anyway. The way that that round broke down was absolutely insane. I really did think that Outlast Black were ending it there, but then the 2 big kills from the sides from the sides looking into the site, unbelievable. Wow, 6-4. I saw a miraculous comeback last week with Certified Lover Boys and Turtle Tactics, where Certified Lover Boys came back. I believe it was on this map, came all the way back, drug it to OT. KARN & Co. have the opportunity to do that if they win just a few more here.
KARN & Co. need these next 2 rounds in Outlast Black. They've looked good all game long, but KARN & Co., you can tell, are finally starting to heat up, and they got to get a little bit hotter to take these next ones. If you recall, back in, what was it, round number 8, I think?
I think so,
was
yep.
a dominant victory on this upstairs side, a flawless one at bat for Outlast Black. It looks like KARN & Co are going with the same setup. I still got a question, fully reinforcing this janitor as mute. If it wasn't reinforced that time, Carnage could have shut that plant down, maybe round 8 goes another way. But it looks like KARN & Co are going to run back the same strat. We'll see if it works out better for them this time. But Outlast Black know how to attack.
They do. And at the same time, Dexy, so prominent on the Twitch with the drone or the DMR in his hand, he will do damage one way or another. And then fully reinforcing it was interesting because they have Carnage back on the mute. You're going to have to find a way to get around Dexy's prominence with him being on Twitch again. They don't know that at this current point in time, but of course, he's played Twitch quite a few rounds now. You would have expected it, I would have said at least. But either way, looking to hopefully get some Valk cams out and maybe even get a few mute jammers out again is Dexy with this Twitch.
5v5 for the time being, and it seems like the First Bloods really slowed down here on these KARN & Co defenses. They're not playing overly ambitious with their lives, doing a nice job saving bodies, but on this top floor site, you need to get some kills or rolling through quick if you're Outlast Black, because this one takes a while to unseat these defenders from their angles.
He hears him on drone, though. Look at that. There's no way that he doesn't hear Deity right there. If he doesn't hear Deity, even if just a little bit, then that's a big problem. Of course, that was... Who was that with the... Yep, that was Carnage shooting through the floor right there, so definitely wasn't Deity. But see, look, now Dexy has a pretty good idea where Vic Bands is. He's going to ping him out. He's going to make sure that a teammate can hopefully get on him there. Most Valk cams are also still up, I believe, from what we saw Hani on.
Minute 20 left to play here for Outlast Black. It looks like a similar strategy. They do have a lot of players outside the building, and with just over a minute, there is not one inside. They got into top square pretty early on last time.
Look at this deep
And
angle.
this time, this one around without a sensor, just gonna have to swing in and hope for the best yet again. And look, KARN & Co were still playing pretty far off the site, and now here comes the execute, swinging in the window. There goes Butcher, first one in the site. Vic Bands will fall. Raze picking up the first kill as Demented goes down to Deity. Huzgetter is just in the site, is going to be able to start planting this bomb, and I don't think they realize it. The plant will go down. Valkyrie cam shot out, but it doesn't matter. The C4 lands onto Butcher. Dexy with the kill. It's a 2v1 post plant. He won't get the diffuser, and now it is all up to Carnage. Team leader namesake with 40 seconds left to get it, and they're going to have at least one player outside. Dexy's in the desk, and Dexy gets the kill, 11th of the game for the Gunner on Twitch, and Outlast Black take map 1.
Wow. They take map 1 a lot more convincingly than we would have thought. Last time they played this match, they were the ones losing it 7-4. Nowadays, this time around, they're the ones winning it 7-4. They have their Gunners heated up. They're ready to go, so to speak. And now they were proving it from last week. The fact that they were so hot, even though they lost to the Unks in the way that they did, they proved that they did their homework, their research on how KARN & Co like to play this map and how KARN & Co want to play this map. They shut them down on their attack, and it ended up paying dividends. We're going to be going to a map that we have not yet seen either of these two teams play, but as of right now, results 7-4 on Bank. Outlast Black end up taking it. KARN & Co were 1-0 on this map. Now they have suffered their first loss on Bank.
You know, had to mention, or had to happen at some point. You can't stay undefeated forever. And that was a big win for Outlast Black. They only need one more. KARN & Co needs to take the next map to stay alive, to have a chance of competing for the top spot in this TPL division. All that being said, as we mentioned multiple times, Nighthaven Labs is up next. We're going to throw it to a short break. Be right back for game number 2 between Outlast Black and KARN & Co. Welcome back, everybody. We're getting ready for map number 2. Once again, Kingfisher joined here by the Ace of Toronto. Outlast Black took the first map. They did it in pretty convincing fashion. As you said in the post game, we were maybe expecting KARN to have a little bit of the edge, but Outlast is ahead and they want to keep it. Nighthaven Labs is on the horizon. As we remarked so many times, neither of these teams have played it before. We cannot wait to see what we get into here.
Yeah, and when it came down to the bans, you got to feel as though since this is Outlast Black's map, they have the momentum coming into this, beating KARN & Co. on their map, which was Bank, a map that they were previously very, what, I don't know the word. They're just very prominent. I hate to continue to use the word prominent, but it was a very important map for them. They picked Bank first. The bans fell that way for them, and now when it comes down to it, neither team so far has played Labs, but at the end of the day, this is Outlast Black's map pick, so you got to think, when it came down to it, maybe they have a few extra strats in their back pocket that they can utilize to kind of keep the momentum going for them as they won last map 7-4.
Yeah, and I think something else important to remark, KARN & Co., this has kind of been their permaban, instaban, whatever you want to call it.
It has.
In the 2 games they've played so far in the finale, they have taken out Nighthaven Labs first. So I don't know if it's something like they feel confident against Outlast, if they've been making strats, now they're feeling better on the map, whatever it may be, we are going to see them for their first time here. And it could be a trial by fire because Outlast Black are looking warmed up, they're looking dominant, and they are looking ready for map number 2. Here come the pick and bans.
Yeah, I mean, they got their guns going. That's exactly what you could, that's the only thing that you could have asked for if you were Outlast Black IGL, which I do not know which one of them is the IGL, but yeah, when it comes down to it, they didn't have to take their time out. They knew that they needed to get their guns going early. The same exact ones that were going in their loss last week continued to go this week. Just absolutely fly off the handles were the 2 very important members of Outlast Black, and they helped them win map 174, as you see there in the top corner of your screen. Montaigne goes off the board first here on Nighthaven Labs. It's not a surprise ban at all. However, Maverick is somewhat of a surprise ban. We have not seen too much of this map from KARN & Co. specifically, but also at the same time, we have only seen Outlast Black on this map once, I believe. Nope, yes, only once as far as I can see here. And Maverick was not a ban last time they were on this map. It was actually Brava instead, which is an understandable ban, so to speak. Azami goes off the board here. Not surprising at all. You want to make sure that you can shut off Garage and you can shut off the back half of the B site upstairs, I believe, where you could sit behind the desk with the Azami. Tubarao is the last ban here. It's a little bit more of a against Outlast Black type of ban, as we saw Tubarao be used very, very effectively last map.
Yeah, some fairly standard bans coming through. I think Maverick, I mean, this is one of the 2 maps you sometimes see Maverick banned on. So nice to see it there from Outlast. If you're not planning on playing it, might as well get rid of it. The Monty ban surprised me just a little bit, not because of the map. I think Nighthaven, Monty is really, really good on, so I get it from that regard. But I don't think last game, neither team really impressed me with their shield play a whole ton. I think Outlast used splits pretty effectively on the basement, but other than that, these don't scream 2 teams that love to use riot shields to me, so maybe could have gone to something else, but regardless, the big shield operator will not be in play this time. Looks to be a fairly standard defensive setup here from KARN & Co.
Well, I mean, even if you're not a very shield-heavy team, like we didn't really see either of these teams play shields very heavily, even if you're not a very heavy shield type of team, Montaigne is probably the most useful attacker out of all attackers besides maybe Deimos if you've got a good gun on your team. You might not be a very shield prominent team, but either way, it's very understandable as to why Montaigne was off the board first and early.
Very, very true. And I love that you mentioned Deimos because we didn't see any of it in map 1, despite being,
not at all.
I think, regarded by all as one of the strongest operators in the game when you're playing with the team. You know, you can calm so effectively, lead him into traps, get the kills, incredible loadout in his pocket. Not used, I think, could be just because neither team were roaming very extensively, but this is a map where you have to do that, so we should see some Deimos at some point this game. We are broken early, and with this Electric Claw, they'll have to work to get this wall open, but because of that, Ace should be in no danger from the Black Moon. They don't have any AMPs, though. They're going to have to get it from below.
They don't.
That's odd.
They're gonna have to hope that they can get it from below, but you have a buck. So if you can open up the wall wide enough, you'll be able to get it even if it is on the top, and that looks to be exactly what Butcher is trying to do here for the team. I believe he might have gotten it off. He did. Ace charge goes out. Nitro cell goes out. The ace charge wins that fight every time. He did end up getting a piece, at the very least, of that wall open. Butcher's job is as good as done right now, besides needing to frag out here. Dexy looks away for 1 second.
Needs the LMG there as the mag kills him. Had to reload. And now the kills start falling for it. Vic and Deity each pick up one as there goes Butcher underneath. Luckily for Outlast, they already have the breach open, so the hard part is done in terms of utility here on the attack. But now you just have to win your fights, and that can be so difficult against KARN & Co., especially when they're playing good. Looks like a lot of them have fallen back to the site, though, so for the attack, just gotta wait, and just gotta hit the mute when he hits a shotgun blast, but Carnage will miss, but luckily, so does Demented.
Luckily, so does Demented. Demented needs to make sure that his shots rain true here. Carnage getting a little bit more hurt. Braze knows that he cannot go in that way unless he gets rid of that Fenrir at the very least. But Deity, if he holds his tongue, he's good for 2! Only
just
ended up
manages.
getting... Oh, so close. He actually ends up getting his last kill finished off. Unbelievable. He was almost there.
And the poor Ace never saw the Brit walking up there on the stairs. Deity will fall, but the pick will go to them. KARN & Co. with a really big defensive round there. Outlast Black. I think those first 2 kills hurt him quite a lot. I mean, Deity just got very, very lucky. I think the Dexy had to reload there. The Gridlock should have had them dead to rights, but the mag kind of turns on its user there. So regardless, now we're going to go down to the basement. This is another pretty strong site for the defense. Without that two-brow, it's going to be difficult to keep these walls closed, and they're not even going to try it. No wall denial from KARN & Co. Honestly, I think that's a good choice. Given no two-brow, you're not going to be able to hold them closed forever.
You're not going to be able to hold them closed forever, but at the same time, the wall did end up getting open a little bit later into the round than you would have expected due to the play that you had to have from Butcher going downstairs, and you're looking to hopefully end up doing the same thing here. We don't necessarily know if Dokebi has the impact EMPs currently, but if she doesn't, then there will be no more, or there will be no EMPs for the side of Outlast Black, but instead, yes, Dokebi Demented does have the impact EMPs. So you have to make both of them count because you don't have any other ones from that point on.
Yeah, interested to see what they kind of use the EMPs on. There's nothing that stands out, but we'll see how Demented uses it. Raze on the shield gonna have to be a big member this time around. Outlast, they had a Blackbeard that could have helped kind of change the tides last time, but wasn't able to get in the building. Deity went undroned just sitting on those stairs after that initial kill. Must have thought he moved on, didn't bother with it. Now it's going to be Zach roaming across his top floor. Luckily, this game for all the KARN & Co. fans has the kill much earlier this time around. They have to clear these top floor roamers. This is always such an important site, important part, rather, these bottom floor defenses.
One of, if not the most important part, and now, when it comes to the attackers, you need to make sure that you can clear effectively, and just like that, Butcher with the LMGE, by the way, takes Zach out early. It's looking, as of right now, that Outlast Black are trying to take that driver's seat back.
See if they're able to do so. The first kill will do a lot to help, but now they can't lose anyone else without losing that advantage. And given the way the mirror is peeking here, Vic kind of running around the second floor, falls down to the first. Could meet Dexy very soon here. They do have an attacker pushing in inside. That's going to be Huzgetter inside of the lounge here. Demented is close on the stairs as well, so now the defenders have to be really careful. They're going to fall back towards vending stairs, and Deity will go down. Huzgetter with the second kill here for Outlast Black. He heard Vic on the mirror. Vic needs to find the peak. We'll hit the initial shots, but not the second. Dexy gets revenge. Big kill for the Habana. Now a 5-on-2, 4-on-2 for the attack. And Hanny and Carnage going to work together to try and stop this onslaught.
He saw him sitting there by the forklift, and he was wondering if he was forklift certified or not. Hanny takes Huzgetter out again, and now it's 2v3. Sitting pretty was Butcher. I believe he might actually be forklift certified. He has that LMGE as well on Ram. Absolutely disgusting weapon. He's already got one. He might be good for another. Carnage is just tucked here, though. You have to let Braze go in front of you, but it doesn't matter. Dexy ends up taking Carnage out. Hani gets 2. And now it's a 1v1.
Start droning the corners. Second round in a row. They just don't drone and the Blackbeard falls for it. You can't have this happen if you're Outlast Black. But luckily for them, they still have an advantage to Goyo. Fire is going to burn Butcher. Butcher doesn't know where the Legion is, looking for the long angles at Hani, who's just holding the doorway. And the T5 will win out. The defender is with it. KARN and Co. with the second. And Outlast Black need to start playing their fundamental siege. That is 2 rounds in a row. They have been really, really hurt by lack of intel.
The lack of intel was the main thing there, but also at the same time, they played a better attacking round in round 2 than they did in round 1, and still, it just speaks to the prominence of KARN & Co. on defense right now. They are locked in to this defense. They were locked in last defense, and it just didn't end up helping finish them off. But yeah, your advances plus your enemy's mistakes equals more advances, equals you getting even better than you already are, and looking even better than you might be as well. KARN & Co., we know how good they are. We know how good they have been. They just dropped their, I believe that was either their first or second map throughout this entire event so far, so they're looking to continue where they left off. Not from last map, but from when they were, and they still could be 2-0 or technically 2-1 if they went out here.
Yeah, KARN & Co. starting to heat up some big round defenses. Outlast Black gonna now attack this middle floor bomb site, which we talked about Bank having a good tertiary site, and so does Nighthaven Labs. It can be difficult to kind of defend from the floor. It's got a little bit of a weird layout. If you either control the bottom floor or the top floor as it defends, you have a pretty decent chance at stopping any plants. So KARN & Co. are going to have to kind of look towards one way or the other, and it looks like it's a pretty standard upstairs defense. They don't have anybody in the basement, so Butcher looks like he's going to try to enter from here. We'll see if that works out for the attack, but Outlast will have to roam clear before going for a plant, otherwise it will not work.
They have to, and look at that. You talk about the prominence of the roam clear. You know that you need to get them at least back on site at the very least. They have Butcher for that this time around. He's on Deimos, and look at that. Carnage almost gets a little too greedy, and even though Husgetter is down, Butcher from below gets Carnage anyway.
In the meantime, though, Dexy falls, so we're back into a 4v4. At the very least for Outlast Black, sorry. Husgetter will be able to get revived here as Demented will pick them up. Minute 45 to go, and Outlast Black still have to try to clear out these roamers, but they don't have the EMPs. You talked about them last round with Dokkaebi, not on the board anymore, so this IT wall will stay closed, which means Hanny can just sit in this spot, won't have to move at all. Instead, they're going to push from connector this time. Gonna need to do something big, though, because they still have Deity and Hanny upstairs. They both need to be down for this attack to really start. C4 prepped. C4, though, won't land if it hits right now, so Hanny just needs to hold on to it.
And he holds on to it. It might end up paying just extra dividends. You now know that he's not going that way. He's actually going the other way. But you still could get a kill out of this if you're Hanny.
Yeah, that wall is going to stay closed. It is electrocuted right now, and with that mirror going down, the mirror off to peek into the bomb site in order to help out. Currently playing on that catwalk, and Hanny with a big kill. Kaid finds one
be on
in
for another
second. Yeah, second's going to have to peek as well. Demented having to deal with 2 angles, so just needs to pick one and win it out, and right now needs to get the Kaid that is playing there on the pillar. Too worried about the mirror. The Kaid will drop and misses their chance. Hanny with the second kill. Deity with another. It's all on Butcher, and this is the KARN & Co. we expected to see on Bang. They are firing on all cylinders here in Nighthaven.
It is all up to Butcher. It's not at all what we expected from Outlast Black, especially after we saw how just important the rounds were on Bang. They were playing like it was a completely different game than they are now. They're a lot more scatterbrained. They're a lot more here and there. instead of being right there with their team, as Butcher gets one more onto Zach for the KD. KARN & Co. are up now 3-0 on Outlast Black's map pick. Even though neither team has played this map so far, this is being a first for the ages for both of these teams.
Yeah, KARN & Co. are thundering out, and it's not what you expected, right? From the team that permabans this map, you expect them maybe to be a little bit more hesitant, play more default. That is not the case here from KARN & Co. And they're doing something that I like seeing them do. They're going to alter their defense for this top floor site. They're going to take a Clash, going to take a Warden as well. We'll see if they're able to hold it this time around, and with this mirror playing on the connector wall, should be very difficult for Outlast to push out. And I'm still a little kind of astounded we're not seeing the Thatcher picks. Like, they tried so hard to get that wall. That's why Husgetter went down in round number 3. Just bring a Thatcher. It solves it all. They don't have a tuber out. They can't stop it. Just get the EMPs.
It depends on how well you feel with that one of those two guns in your hands. I will admit the ARX, or the... Is it the ARX?
AR-33.
Or AR-33, that's what it is. I added the X for Call of Duty, I guess. The AR-33 is not a gun that you really want to use unless you have to use a Flores. I will say it's definitely not anyone's first pick. And other than that, you just have the sledge gun. You just have the L5. And, I mean, it's a good gun and all, as they are on Thatcher with the L5. So, yeah, I mean, the L5 is probably one of the more standard. We've all played with it, played multiple rounds with it in the past, type of assault rifles. It just depends on how prominent you feel as that attacker, or if the strat calls for it. He doesn't get that off. Yep.
Ooh. Well, first one open.
One at least popped open.
Yeah, now gonna make it.
Flash.
it'll make it difficult now for the Bandit to try and keep this wall closed. And Hanny's still with a black mirror in pocket. Finally gonna put it up on that connector wall inside of servers, I believe. Carnage on this Clash can essentially delay this IT push, because as long as the mirror is there on the connector wall, there's no way this Clash will be found from an alternate angle. This defense is looking pretty airtight in Outlast Black with a minute gone. We haven't seen good shield play yet from Outlast. There needs to be some this time from Braze, because otherwise that Clash is going to shut everything down. Those EMPs, though, will help with dealing with Clash as well, so a little added bonus here for Outlast.
They will. Not only will they last longer than a pocket EMP, but they will just have more of an impact. They'll stun the Clash for longer. They'll make it to where the Clash just is slower in everything that she does. It's all up to Carnage to make sure that that doesn't really affect them too much, and that the defense can continue to be as good as it has been.
All 3 Selma charges used by Husgetter, so the walls that are open are going to remain that way for the rest of the round. No new angles having to be worried about here from KARN & Co. And Hanny going to keep contesting this angle on a connector. Ooh. And that's a big death. Went for the C4. Vic Bands gets taken out. So does Hanny. Edie with the C4 in the meantime, though. And now Carnage has to keep Raze off of this doorway. Otherwise, the Blitz could cause a lot of havoc inside of sight. 1 kill rolls through for Husgetter. Second of the round. And Zach accept Demented before going down. So it stays a 3-2. Make it a 3-1. It's all on the Clash, and it won't matter. Dexy walks in and gets 2. And this is the Outlast we've been waiting to see from map number 1. Finally translating towards map 2.
What is Blood looking at? He was paying way too much attention to the one side of the other side of the other site. At the same time, his teammate was running around to give him a little extra support, and no one had any clue that the IQ was coming up behind him. A great ending of the round. Because I do feel as though that round was not going in the way of Outlast Black, at least for the first little bit of it. But yeah, a great ending to a round, way to actually end it out and make KARN & Co. just work for it. Outlast Black now have their first. They're at least not going to get 7-0'd at the very least.
True, there you go. Always what you should be trying to do in games. Avoid the 7-0. Won't happen this time around for Outlast Black. And they still got some more rounds they can take advantage of. Going back to the basement bomb site here for KARN & Co. They're not going to try to reattempt this top floor. They're having this extended roam yet again. It worked out kind of confusingly last time. I mean, Outlast were able to take the top floor fine, but then really sputtered on that middle floor. So we'll see if they're able to do a more effective job, and just like the first time around, KARN & Co. not taking any wall denial, but interestingly, Outlast Black with no hard breach outside a couple charges by the Sentry and Huzgetter here, so we'll be able to open up some walls, but not the traditional picks from Outlast.
Well, in the same way that we were talking about how Zach really needs to get it going for KARN & Co. last map, he now has 3. He's second on the team in kills, or third technically behind Deity and Hani. At the same time that we say that, Braze, who has been going absolutely insane for Outlast Black throughout the last entire BO3 that they played, and throughout this one so far, he's 0-3 currently. You really, really, really need to wake Braze back up.
They do, and playing on the Striker, one of the most underappreciated operators in the game. With that M4, it's a great fragging weapon. You have great utility. And with that secondary shotgun, Braze should have more than enough tools to get some kills on the board this round. It's a slow take of the second floor, but the attackers are putting the pressure in the right places, and they're going to start to work in. Gersmont Mine goes off onto Demented. Now going to hold behind the doorway. Zach is inside the command center, so should encounter that Ella soon enough. Zach and Vic have to stay alive here for as long as they can. A minute 40 remaining, and the Ella gonna push up aggressive, should win this fight with the Dokkaebi unless they're expecting it, but it doesn't matter. Demented down, 1 and 5 now for Demented. His handy falls as well, so a big pick from We Mentioned It. Braze finally getting on the board.
Oh, and look at that. LMGE reigns true again for Butcher onto Vic Bands. And now the round, just the player differential goes back in the swing of Outlast Black. Deity did take quite a bit of damage there as well, so that just makes matters a little bit worse. And he ends up losing out to Huzgetter, who was the one who ended up doing that damage to him in the first place. A 4v2 looking nigh unwinnable. Shout out to Rennie, of course. And yeah, just the 3-1 right now. There's not much left that you can do except for frag out. That might be the only way that you win this at this point.
Luckily here for KARN & Co., both their defenders got back to the bomb site without trading their lives. The Goyo still has a cannon pocket, so essentially Carnage could try to get one on the ground, and this is going to be a big fling from Zach if it works, but if not, we'll condemn Carnage inside of this bomb site to a 1v3. Looks like Zach's going to hold and play off the hatch. There is one running around inside of the room right next to them. Doesn't see him, though. It's Butcher. Butcher has to get this kill. Butcher is going to drop the hatch and is going to die, and now Zach is above. KARN & Co. are bringing this round back. Now the attackers have a safe-ish spot on the pillar. Braze has to get the last 2, though. What a big kill from Carnage. Won't even get the first. Carnage with the double. The flank by Zach, and KARN & Co. somehow claw back the 2v4.
A huge double. A huge double from Carnage to end that one out. Clawback is the right word. The reason why I say nigh unwinnable is because that doesn't necessarily mean that it is unwinnable. It just looks as though it's very likely to be unwinnable. And here we are now. They came all the way back from that 2v4. Carnage going huge and getting the final 2 kills down there in the basement. I mean, it's all you could have asked for. Map 3 is looking more and more imminent as the rounds go on here. Outlast Black looked good in the 1 win that they got so far. But yeah, KARN & Co. just look, I mean, they just look really, 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 really good on their defense right now. Like, really good.
They do. The defenses are looking outstanding here for KARN & Co. Need to continue this momentum. You know, we'll remind you, as long as they take 1 map, they will be in contention for the top. So that is exactly what they're trying to do here. And Outlast Black need to do something to kind of stem the bleeding. We'll see if they can take this attacking round. They're going to this middle floor yet again. They can take this. They didn't the first time around, but as we said before, it is a winnable site. Honestly, just need to do a better job clearing the roam. The roam last time absolutely killed them. I think Annie, or Foresight rather, in particular on that top floor was detrimental to their success.
Was and still is to this point. I will say Demented is there. Butcher and Demented going for the classic Therm Thatcher combo. Gonna have to, in the way that the defenders are playing it with Foresight on the Kaid. He's got his claw out. He's ready to potentially trick. Looks as though he might have gotten it, but no, that last claw went out just a little too late The double EMP came out from Demented anyway. Nitro gonna go through to try to knock down the ace charges, but luckily enough, Husgetter was actually on top of his ace. Oh, but either way, it got muted. The Nitro goes right over his head, but does not get him.
Now that wall will be opened. This is why you bring that Thatcher. Demented able to help open up the wall, and now his defense just has to start pushing back towards these CC stairs. Has Zach on them, so knows that they're not in any danger of this rotate. But you need to get out quickly because Outlast are going to start sweeping through, and now they have all the angles to do so. Playing inside of Electric, they're going to push up behind Braze here. Deity is playing a dangerous position here in IT. Will surely be found and surely be killed. But look, tucked in the corner, the player drops. They don't see Deity standing here. It's Demented. Demented, no! Doesn't see Deity in the corner, and Deity gets the kill. Deity gets a second. You can't let him get away with this, Outlast. And KARN and Co. again are at the advantage in this round. The Blitz dropping the shield. He's with this.
What?
It's a triple for Deity. Quadra for Deity. Can he get the ace? No, denied by Dexy. Butcher on the ground can be revived, but what a play from Deity on the Mira.
Just when you think it's a bad spot, he makes the absolute best out of it. Butcher got picked up. He's the last remaining force for Outlast Black, and KARN & Co. take another one. Wait for it, vincingly.
What a round by Deity on that Mira. One of the most impressive final stands dead to rights I've seen in quite a few rounds here in the finale. Incredible job. Staying alive really helps win that round for KARN & Co. It was already trending that way, but nail in the coffin. Outlast Black now need to be near invincible on their defenses. Push us towards overtime. And one more look at it. I mean, what a play from the Mira. Finds all four. And if he didn't push out onto Dexy, would have had the ace.
He pushed out onto Dexy just because he wanted the ace. He was ready for it. And with a 5-1 split, Outlast Black are going to have to do more than just claw back into this one. Map 3, Cafe, is looking more and more and more and more imminent as the rounds pass.
It's hard not to imagine ourselves there already. And at the same time, it hasn't necessarily been bad gameplay from Outlast Black, right? They're not playing bad. I think outside of the first two shield rounds, that was bad. But despite that, they haven't been playing bad at all. KARN & Co. has just been playing better. It's always such a tough thing to do as a team because it's not something you need change in your strats. You just got to start winning rounds that you already are so close to winning. We'll see if they can claw it back on defense. Definitely the preferred site, I think, for Nighthaven's, or preferred have, rather, for Nighthaven Labs. See what they can do without that Tuber. Of course, won't be able to hold on to these walls forever, but with Dexy on this Bandit, as long as there's not a terrible amount of pressure from below, might be able to trick, but Zach and Deity don't look like they're going to let that happen.
And I will say, it's interesting to touch on something a little different here for just a second. The most banned map by Outlast Black was Bank. They won that 7-4. KARN & Co.'s most banned map has been Nighthaven Labs, and they are now looking to win in a scoreline that's even better than 7-4. So just because you ban it doesn't mean you are bad at it, ladies and gentlemen. If you see a team that bans a map very often that you're going against in literally any way, shape, or form, as he shoots his teammate's drone by complete accident, just be wary of how good they can be once they finally get on it.
Saw Pest with BDS on Chalet back there in the Old 6 Invitational. Seeing it again here from KARN & Co. With only 2 attacking rounds needed, they are closing in on trying to make that happen. Braze is playing inside this control room on mute. ED's going to draw close to it. They know players are downstairs. Carnage takes a massive amount of damage from Husgetter C4 there. Or retreat into servers. And now they blink on, they see the Deimos. Deity has to be careful because he is looking at the wrong side of a 1v2. We've seen just how deadly that CC stairs position can be. Dexy will be the target, one of the 2 defenders that is not downstairs. Might be a little misused by the Deimos here, pushes up, Braze finds a lot of damage onto Vic Bands, not the kill, and now Deity is on the prowl.
Husgetter could also go huge here. The nade does not start the timer for those 20 seconds. Zach misses his mark just as wide as he could have been. Braze ends up getting Deity. I believe it was on the other side over there from sight. Zach, I don't know how you don't win that against Dexy.
Big kills rolling through. Outlast Black now on the right side of the 5v3, and with just 20 seconds, smoke canisters, Goyle cans, all gonna be used to stop KARN & Co from pushing into this bomb site. Foresight's made it into IT and will get the first kill, making a second for Foresight. Dropped though from Dexy, another big pick here from the Bandit. Now with such low HP, Vic. One single bullet will kill him, and there's the bullet from Braze. Carnage has to move in, shield drop, but it will not matter. The smoke grenade somehow does not get the kill, but the time will. Dexy with a shot to make it a triple here, and Outlast with a big defensive round. They needed that one, not just for the score, but the momentum too. That was a dominant top floor defense.
I mean, I don't know if we've said it once already, but you cannot count them out. The match that I had the pleasure of watching last week was a insane comeback from Certified Lover Boys in order to push Turtle Tactics to OT on Bank. Now we could be looking at the same thing here, because at the end of the day they were down 5-1, Outlast Black were, but also at the same time this is their map pick. You gotta believe they have something in their back pocket. KARN & Co didn't win 4 rounds on Bank just for funsies. It was their map. They had reasons and strats as to why they could have won more but only ended up getting 4. And it was because they knew their prominence, they knew their worth, they knew how good they could be on their map pick. The same thing could be being said right now by Outlast Black. 5-1, you cannot count them out. This is their map for a reason. They just proved it with what was one of the best top floor defenses I've ever seen.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Yeah, it was dominant. It was good. There's not too many things to say textbook from Outlast Black, but now of course they got a different problem. They have to continue that streak. They can only drop 1 defensive round if they want to go to overtime, if they want to have a chance to win this map. For KARN & Co, it was a little bit of a step back, but there were still moments, right? I think Foresight or Hanny on the entry there, and Decide nearly made big plays happen. That was about it. Now attacking this basement site, they have to do this top-down clear. We saw it played very effectively on the roam from KARN & Co. Now Outlast Black can try their hands at attacking. Bandit will not be able to trick this wall due to the double hard breach. And I like that use from KARN & Co. There's not a whole ton you got a hard breach on this site, so might as well make the most of it.
Making the absolute most of it, making sure that you're distracting enough to where Zach can get in and get his job done on his Twitch drone, but at the same time you have as much wall open as possible. That is now 2 of Butcher's Fenrir mines off the board. He scanned for a little extra info because he knew that he did the most important thing right there, getting rid of the Fenrirs and getting rid of that bulletproof on the entry. And the cross almost caught him there.
Making quick entry here from KARN & Co. They get 1 kill. They're looking for a second as well, and with Deity on this angle, might be able to do so, but Foresight is going to fall. That's a big pick from Huzgetter. Is now Outlast Black going to look to fall back. They still have this cage playing an interesting position inside a connector. That's a big pick. Braze goes down, trying to make a re-entry onto that top floor. Vic with a kill here, and that was a big loss for Outlast Black, as now these defenders going to be forced to draw back downstairs. And sorry, it was my mistake. They went first floor, not basement.
Yep. They went first floor. I thought they were also basement for a split second, but now I know they are first floor. Dexy sitting in sight. He's going to do what he knows he has to do here. He sees him running, does not get a chance to get any hits on him, but Deity then re-peeks it for his teammate and gets the kill onto Dexy. Now it's all up. Can this Nitro go big? It might, and it will! Huzgetter takes Carnage out. You've only got 40 seconds now if you can play the diffuser, but they might not let you. He gets 2 though anyway!
What a play!
Huzgetter stops him dead in his tracks! Outlast Black claw back! What a round!
And they are fighting. Outlast Black with a big, improbable, impressive victory there in round number 8. You cannot count them out just yet.
Nope.
On to the basement we go. And what a play from Foresight, Huzgetter, whatever the name, whatever the play, on that Kaid to stop the shield, get the follow-up as well, saving the round there for Outlast. And KARN & Co. have to be scratching their heads after that one. Great triple there from the Huzz.
If I'm KARN and Co, I'm thinking, how did I just let him do that? You had an ace right behind the Blackbeard, and they both go down. Blackbeard gets melee prioritied and shotgunned out, and then with the last few bullets, the ace somehow whiffed his shots enough to make it to where he could just... He has a shotgun. He's going to be able to kill you in 2 or 3 shots at the very least. Unbelievable. KARN and Co don't even have this on match point yet. They don't have that extra added pressure on Outlast Black, who feel as though they might even be playing with a little bit of house money at this point. After going down 5-1, it's 5-3, and they are looking ready to continue this comeback.
Yeah, they're looking hot right now. It has been the game hero plays for both of these teams, and they're going to have to continue here in round number 9. We see the Echo, who we got banned out on bank, finally see some gameplay here. Going to hand it over to Braze on the side of Outlast Black. Could be a very important asset, but with this IQ, they're going to be hunting for it. Really about the only thing the IQ can look for, so definitely a counter pick here. From Zach, who we talked about having a slow game 1, has really picked it up and stepped up big here for his team in game number 2.
It's about time. If you're KARN and Co, you're thinking it's about time that Zach is now. He's here. He's ready. And at the same time, Braze only has 3 at this current point in time, but he has came up clutch in a few different ways than just 1 at this current point in time. So you got to be happy, but you also still feel as though Braze could give you just 1 or 2 more. And you're putting him on these defenders like Echo. It's not necessarily going to happen right now.
Going to be an important position here for Foresight and Butcher playing inside of the cafeteria. Foresight's going to get out of there, leaving Butcher alone. Gotta wonder if Butcher has been droned out. We've seen some big misdrones this game, but with those flashbangs from Vic, certainly not the case, and Zach is going to be able to get the kill. Carnage with 1. Another from Foresight. What just happened to Outlast? It is all on Braze in a 1v5. KARN and Co are about to put themselves on a match point. Braze gets the first, gets the second. Hope isn't lost here for the defense.
He has the ace here, but Carnage does have the diffuser. Bomb site is downstairs, so maybe you could seclude the 1 player that's down there right now? Oh, there's 2. Never mind, there's 3. It looked as though it was just 1, but I believe they were just following behind him. It is now match point 6-3. The momentum has been stolen from Outlast Black, stolen right back from them. And yeah, KARN and Co are just 1 round win away from taking us to Cafe.
We saw a similar position flip the sides a little bit in map number 1, and we'll see if Outlast are able to start their last stand defense with a win. Just like KARN and Co was back on bank. They're going to be able to go upstairs, so off to the favored bomb site they go here. And this will be a big one from Outlast. If they can push it to overtime, would be a miraculous feat. But KARN and Co want to put us into a true best of 3 right now. If they take this map, we will have map 3 on the horizon.
We will have a map 3 on the horizon if they take this map. KARN and Co have only been to 1 map 3 all season. It was 7-2 victory against Turtle Tactics, and it was on Clubhouse. Outlast Black, however, have also only been to 1 map 3 this entire season, where it was against Certified Lover Boys, and they lost that map 3 7-4. That was a bank.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Outlast defense this time around, back in round number 7, was nearly flawless, barring a double kill from Foresight there on the ace. Just walked through the IT door, so we'll see if they can replicate that success this time around. They're going to go for that double hard breach yet again, it looks like, on the side of KARN and Co, probably to try and open that IT wall. No bandit this time, just the Kaid, so it shouldn't be able to trick very well with this Thatcher in pocket. See what happens here on this hard wall.
It looks as though it's probably just going to be the simple Thatcher Thermite combo if Foresight can get there fast enough. But at the same time, the Mira is open. You're looking to try to get rid of the ace charges, but you can't because it gets EMP'd at the perfect millisecond. No more C4.
No more C4. Very, very sad day. KARN and Co trying to push in here, and they are going to follow Deity here into the CC Hall, who takes a big shotgun shot. They run right into Demented, who gets the first, will not get the second, but the Blackbeard plenty weak. Deity landing a shot on the Butcher in the meantime.
Butcher has to be careful.
They do, and on top of CC here, running into this MP7 would not be a very fun time for the attack.
As he situates his Fenrir mines, you also have to be careful if you're Dexy. Praise smokes Carnage, who was the backup for Deity. Vic Bands ends up taking Braze out, so it's a little bit of a back and forth there. Deity is still dropping some shots into sight, hoping to push some people out. Butcher pre-fire swing takes out Foresight, and now it's all up to Vic Bands. He has to vault through that as well. That's not a walk hole. He's got the bulletproof on him. He does have the diffuser back. Bulletproof is already given the info that they need to just hold their angles, hopefully, here.
Yeah, all they got to do is sit and watch his IT door. They know exactly where the Thatcher is coming from. And the prone player on his right-hand side might be able to get the kill. I believe it's Dexy there, sitting. Yeah, just has to walk in. They're not going to give him anything to shoot at. Instead, standing up. They're really making him work for it. Yep. He's got to be sweating right now.
As he
Dexy having a little fun. And the final kill for Foresight. Outlast Black stays alive. Will we see another 7-4 though? Only KARN and Co can provide us with the answer to that if they can take this next round.
Ooh, tech pause though from Husgetter, so we will be seeing hopefully at least a little bit of a pause, and we will. So technical timeout here from the side of Outlast Black. What we've seen so far though, it will have to be 7-4 on the side of KARN & Co, or else Outlast Black are going to be very, very, very prone to coming back on them here, as they have already done. Like, when it became 6-3, you would have thought, oh, okay, well, they took it to match point. Now you're just waiting for map 3 to start, pretty much. But no, they did not let all of the wind get taken out of their sails, did Outlast Black. They ended up coming back and winning another round to make it 6-4. So not all of their momentum has been taken from them, as they just proved in what was a very good defense right then. 6-4 though is the current score here in this current technical pause that we have going on. We will have to, sadly enough, take it to a quick technical pause break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you on the other side of this. Don't go far.
Welcome back in, hopefully, a very short break as we get back into game here. I know the stakes are high. It is for us as well. Everybody wants to see how map number 2 will end. Outlast Black, yet again on the defense, are going to go back to the mid floor where they had their hero play from the Husgetter, Foresight himself. Or sorry, no, not Foresight, Stocky, rather.
Stocky, yep.
On Husgetter. Oh, they both start with H's. They're mixing me up with the nicknames here.
Husgetter is just such a funny name, though. It is not at all what I expected to see coming into this so far. And he's been very, very, very good for his team. In all honesty, he's got 10 kills, along with Dexy. The stat line of Outlast Black and KARN & Co right now with their kills and whatnot, you would not expect KARN & Co to be the team that is on top. But as of right now, they have map 2. Outlast Black's map pick on match point right now. They win one more, and we will be seeing some cafe action as they're on the attack. Outlast Black are back on the defense here.
LS Black trying to stay alive as KARN & Co does not want to go too extra. Is already dropping that first map. You don't want any added stress on your plate. Just get it done here in regulation time, not the overtime. We'll see if that happens here. They are attacking probably the most attacker-friendly rotation site you can get. LS Black, of course, will have to defend all three. Shots through the floor will not hit, as they are going to have to work to get this defender out of IT. I believe it is Huzgetter himself tucked in the corner.
The electricity came back on at the perfect time, too.
They're not having success on this wall.
Not at all. They didn't get rid of it. There's no Kaid, so it just came down to the fact that the battery became un-EMP'd at that current point in time. Unsuccessful, though.
Yeah, they essentially have to forget it, too, because Foresight's the only one left with Hard Breach, but they're just going to pull into sight. Excuse me? The Legion's the first on the board. He will get the kill before falling. It's big from Dexy, but into 4v4, it's a double C4 for Braze, getting right back into the kill column. 4v2 in favor of Outlast. Black Huzgetter is low, currently stuck on this wall, but with Demented by him, can look for something, and they will get Foresight. It's all on Zach in a 1v4, and it looks like Outlast are trying to take us to the final round of regulation, unless Zach can finish this round up with the quad.
Zach's going to need something a little bit bigger than a quad, I would assume. Braze does get taken off the board, though. The gun that you needed to get going now has 8 on the back of that double nitro that he got. He's really, really being the main factor, driving factor, in what is keeping Outlast Black in this match as of right now. But you see that Zach doesn't have the diffuser, so that now means that he has to rotate back towards sight, towards the diffuser. It is looking very, very unwinnable, and Butcher seals this round's fate. You would have thought that it was going to be 7-4. We have at least one more round left to play, as it is now 6-5. And if Outlast Black win this next one, we're going to OT.
As a reminder, KARN & Co only needed one of the 3 maps today in order to stay on the top. And they are in danger, going down 2-0 as Outlast Black now moving into the basement site. One of the most favored for defenders. KARN & Co needs to put the gas on this attack, and can't see it from the replay, but the double C4 kill there by Braze saves the round, making no doubt about it for Outlast Black. Off of what was honestly a well thought out rush, a pretty good one. If they just had somebody downstairs, or if they knew about the mute, I think that round would have went to KARN & Co. I think they did a really good job kind of recognizing that the bomb site was free.
But see, it goes back to what we said. Something that neither team has been doing as well as they did on Bank is droning. Neither team has been very prominent in droning on this map specifically, not Haven Labs. On this map, this round, Outlast Black KARN & Co. Map 2, Outlast Black's pick, specifically right here, right now, they have not been doing very good at droning at all. Neither KARN & Co. nor Outlast Black have. They really need to get these drones going more than they need to get any of their guns going, because most of their guns are awake now, are Outlast Black, and the same could technically be said about KARN & Co. You don't necessarily need Vic Vance to do all the work. He has 5 that's good enough for right now, as this match isn't technically over yet. Get your drones going. Get your util game going. It hasn't necessarily been the most prominent, and that has been leading to some very influential round losses.
Really has. 30 seconds gone so far for KARN & Co. as they work towards trying to put themselves into map number 3. Want to get this 7-5 victory. And for Outlast Black, it's a pretty extended roam onto the first floor, about to be expected. Though they did lose that top floor earlier than you want. You really want to control that for as much as possible, but they are forced off, luckily without losing any life, so you can't be feeling too bad about it. If you're an Outlast fan, 2 more minutes for KARN & Co. to start pushing their way into this basement bomb site. There's not a ton of people playing outside. This Buck now takes an off angle over by Vending. Has a player looking close. Is going to be Demented on the Cade, who's just holding down the stairs, looking to try to get some sort of a cross. The attack is taking all this side. It's just a couple defenders left kind of by that cargo side, and now a Deity on these rafters. Going to be in a very precarious position here for Outlast.
Very, very, very precarious. But see, at the same time, you look at it, Deity's now back around, and he's going to be able to do big, big, big ram work for this team. He needs to make sure that he can catch some, if he can catch any, defenders running around site like chickens with their heads cut off. Like they can't be shot through the roof, but it doesn't necessarily seem as though that's what's going to be happening right now, as most defenders are now back in or near site, and they seem as though they have a little bit more of an extra advantage, I'd say, as of right now, to the defenders.
1 minute left to play for Outlast to try to get themselves to overtime here on Nighthaven Labs. No kills just yet, as the round timer will tick down to 45 seconds. The buck and the ramp going to start to tear open this floor. No matter what, it is going to be a hailstorm of bullets whenever this execute eventually comes. They have all the vertical pressure in the world they can want right now, but they have to get downstairs, and looking at their positions, it's going to be a full EXO take. Outlast, without that main breach open, knows they only have to defend EXO. Here the kills start rolling. Carnage will get the first onto Demented. 20 seconds yet to play. No Goyo, no smoke, no deny. This has to be all gunplay all the way here from Outlast Black. Worried about the corner, but nobody's there. Ace starts to put down the bomb, and they have to get in quick. Vic Vance will die from buff. C4 shot. What a play. This diffuser will not go down. They stopped it, and with just 6 seconds, we are going to overtime on Nighthaven Labs.
OT on Nighthaven. You had an idea that this was a map that Outlast Black were really, really ready for. When they got on their defense, they proved it, ladies and gentlemen. It was 5-1 when the sides swapped. KARN & Co. have only won a singular attacking round so far, and that is what pushed us to OT right here and right now. Outlast Black back on the defense. They won a singular attacking round, did Outlast Black at one point. They're going to have to prove that they can win one more if they win right here and right now in OT.
This is such a huge advantage for Outlast starting on the defense. As you just said, there were only 2 attacking rounds that entire time in our regulation. KARN & Co. Yeah, KARN & Co. are going to need to get at least one here in overtime. Outlast Black, theoretically, can just win both of their defenses, not have to worry about the attack. They're going to go upstairs first, and I love this choice. Outlast Black were so dominant on both their top floor defenses. Undoubtedly, the right side, we'll see if KARN & Co. have finally learned how to put the attack together for this top floor. Going to do that double hard breach yet again. Without the Mira, we'll likely be able to open that IT wall, so that should be a lot of pressure relieved from the attack.
Maybe that's what they want, though. Maybe they want the IT wall to be a little bit more open to the defenders in order to be able to get a little extra play on it. They've been shutting down the IT wall so effectively, have Outlast Black, to a point where KARN & Co. just haven't even been able to deal with it. Now they know that they're going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting on both of these exposed walls that are exposed to the outside as of right now. Zach doing what he is best at. The same could have been said about Dexy. Both of them have been proven to be very good with a Twitch drone in their hand. Demented is just waiting, though. Man, if he gets one coming through that door with that shotgun, it's going to be his favorite clip that he's ever gotten.
C4 missing here from Braze, who has had some massive explosions so far this game, Outlast Black. Still holding strong in their defense. 1 minute down, no kills already. Deity is looking to change that, lurking on an angle. It looks like he's holding Demented here, who's playing on the CC stairs. That'd be a big pick for the attack if they can get this smoke down early. Demented, though, not going to push too aggressively. No real reason to, as KARN & Co. still struggling. Make initial entry, and with this mute, trying to help deny this Twitch drone. Gonna have to be a little bit of a play here from Zach in order to really get into sight with this utility and take it out right away.
Not necessarily sure if that was what was going to end up being the winning play or not. Either way, Deity has a pretty good idea that his prey has escaped him, so now he knows he has to target Huzgetter to see if there's a chance he could shoot him through the floor. He kind of misses, but either way, he doesn't expect Braze coming up Exo stairs behind him, and now there's no more Deimos trackers at all. Dexy gets taken out by Vic back to back now. And that side wall there is now open, looking straight into sight. So now the defenders have been pushed in a corner. Braze, though, taking his time, but Vic saw his arm before he had a chance to fully know that Vic was there. And now KARN & Co. have the man advantage with 40 seconds left.
This is looking like a possible attacker victory. Vic has to get this kill onto... Or, sorry, Demented has to get the kill onto Vic on the stairs. And Zach is in the CC as well. Gets a kill onto Zach. Now with Shotgun out, can just hold off the Ash. Demented needs to fight this kill, but won't. Pushes with the shotgun. And we're in a 2v2. The defender's still holding out. The diffuser is down in sight. It's all onto Vic in a 1v1. It's gonna be Stocky taking him on. Stocky has to find the kill onto the Ash, pushing in. Vic gets the kill. It's an ace from Vic Bands, and KARN and Co are ready and on match point.
We said it a lot last map, and now we're gonna say it again. Vic Bands is a big name for this team, and there is a very good reason why. Acing in overtime. Now they just need one more, and we're going to map 3. But if they can get that one more, is really what it's going to come down to. Outlast Black have proven that they are not the best attackers on this map. So KARN and Co are looking to hopefully end this one 8-6. But man, I don't understand why he pushed him on top of Aqua Stairs right there. I won't lie.
If you're going to push, at least take the SMG out. The shotgun from that distance is not enough damage unless you get extremely lucky. And Vic, with the ace, we said this was a game of hero plays, and we were not lying. Jumps all the way up from 5 kills to 10 with that. KARN and Co now, interestingly, defending the first floor bomb site, not upstairs, not the basement. We'll see how Outlast attacks it, but I like this from KARN and Co. I did like their mid-floor defenses a lot. Now, it all hangs on attack to get us to round 15.
I mean, if we go to round 15, that'll be great. But in all honesty, I'm pulling for Outlast Black at this point. I think they have what it takes. And even though it is 7-6, I feel as though they have proven that they have what it takes against such a dominant and such an important team like KARN and Co. Look at the names that are on this team and tell me that they aren't one of the more important teams in this league, especially looking at Vic Bands, Carnage right there, and then as well as Zakilla. These are some big names. This is a big team, and you are proving that you can hang. You're proving that you're here for a reason, and I think there is a good chance that we at the very least see round 15 here. Anything is possible, but yeah, we're going to need to see a really good Outlast Black attack here, I think.
Need to find the kill onto Hanny here, who is trying to trick as the bandit, but with Carnage below, it's going to be hard. Hanny runs away, and the wall will be opened. Great play, great utility usage there by Butcher to get it done without having to play their life. With that IT wall open, this defense gets so much more difficult for the defenders. Not impossible, certainly not, but now the storage side of this bomb site is much easier for these attackers to try to take, and they're moving on to connector. They want a full clear, rather, this top floor with Hanny, Vic Bands, Deity up there. You gotta think it is going to be an impossible task to do. They really have to go crazy here on the attack to force these defenders out.
Look at this, though. Making sure that Demented can't get any extra value out of his ace charges here. He still has one left in his pocket. Of course, Butcher also still has an Ash charge, so nothing is off the table just yet. Also still a EMP in the pocket of Husgetter, but he might not make the cross. Vic Bands gets taken out by Butcher, though, and that's a great opening pick, even though Husgetter is so low.
Great opening onto the mute, so C4 down and onto the player that aced last round will not be a repeat. Outlast Black now getting a little bit damage on Hanny, but they push into the electric door. They double up, lucky not to lose both.
Wow.
Now they can swing in to get an extra as Deity takes one down. Deity has to live here. User on the catwalk and will do so. Demented not able to return, but Dexy gets one onto Zakilla, and now it is on Deity and Carnage. 3v2 for the attack, and we just had to wait till overtime to see the attack light up. The shot from Dexy connects.
Wow.
Deity falls to Dexy. It's another hero play. Round 15 is next.
Max OT. This is the second week in a row this has happened to me. And if KARN and Co end up getting this attacking round, which they have been known to do at this point, we'll be going to another map 3, another decider. But as of now, we have to live in this moment. This has been such a great match so far. 7-4 first map, you never for 1 second thought that KARN and Co were completely out of that. And as of now, this second map specifically has just been going so far back and forth. It's insane. Dexy winning that fight right there was crazy to me. I don't see how you stare at him for that long and don't end up getting the kill like he didn't there. Max OT, unbelievable scenes. This is why TPL XGS is where you want to be.
Yeah, one of the Premier Leagues for a reason. There is nowhere else you get the crazy plays like this almost every night, and there has to be at least one more. Outlast going to the first floor as well. No basement played in this overtime. We'll see if they can get it done here in storage. KARN & Co. off the back of Vic Bands in their opening attack here in overtime. It needs to be a more complete victory. I don't think Outlast is letting them ace again. We need to see all 5 members step up big here for KARN & Co. if they want a chance at map 3. Reminder for all our recent viewers, Outlast, after taking the first map, need this one to move into first place in the TPL division.
They need this one to move into first place in the TPL division, and looking at how difficult that was on paper, KARN & Co. were 2-0 coming into this, only dropping, I believe, 1, maybe 2. Actually, no, I believe it was only 1 map that they have dropped at all as of right now. And yeah, I mean, as important as this team is to the scene itself, I mean, Outlast Black came ready to fight, and that's exactly what this has been. This has been a fight. Outlast Black have been very prominent on their defenses, though, so you've got to be thinking that even if it's a slight mental advantage, they might have one right now. I'm not sure. They ended up electing to go for the same site that KARN & Co. did on this mid-floor, and now it's all up to how prominent they have been on their defense. Can they hold on and take first place away from KARN & Co.?
See if they're able to do so. Over a minute gone and no kills just yet. Outlast Black top floor defense again has to be important here. IT is taken though, and Deity is just going to run in and get one. Hello, Deity. Welcome to round 15. What a start for KARN & Co. and Outlast Black. Ain't capitalized just yet. Dexy taking damage as well. There is a player near storage inside. It's going to be Butcher holding inside a command center. Dexy just keeps taking gunshots. Butcher going to reach out, try to find this kill inside of IT, and he will. Deity goes down. The player outside can't shut it down. Hanny's still looking for the gunshot there as we drop into a 4v4. Nearly a 4v3, but Zach escapes unharmed. Zach dropping so low. How is he alive? And Vic with a kill onto Dexy. Carnage falls to Demented, and Zach is low as well. These defenders now trying to push out the attackers, and we'll get one inside of storage. Vic wasn't looking the right way. Zach can get the return kill here onto Braze, and has to do so. But will not get it. The SMG rings true, and it is all left to Hanny here. Has been the hero so many times, but he won't be now. Outlast Black take this matchup in a 2-0 victory.
I will clap. I will clap for that. I don't think I've ever, I mean, I feel like I could do a standing ovation right now. What a match. You would not have thought max OT is what we needed. Outlast Black outlasting KARN & Co. here. Truly a sprint. Dexy had 15 kills to end this one out. 8-7, first place no more, undefeated no more. KARN & Co. fall to Outlast Black, who are now firmly in first within the TPL division. Unbelievable.
What a hero play. Outlast Black up to first, Unks down to second, which means we still have a 2-place tie for third between KARN & Co. and the Certified Lover Boys. And what a Nighthaven Labs map it was for the defense, just ruling the regulation, for the attacks to come thundering back for both teams. And it looks so close in the end still. KARN & Co. almost getting it done, but they fall short. I would not be ashamed in any form of how they played this game, though. Top to bottom, one of the most competitive sets you'll see in this league, any league, all time. Incredible game we got to witness today.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. You would not have thought that that was a map 2. You would have thought that was map 3 between two very important and very close within the standings type of teams, and they were at that point, but now Outlast Black, after what was a very deflating loss to Onks last week, do more than just come back. They prove that just because KARN & Co. were 2-0 and that they were 1-2 does not mean anything. They are now 2-2. KARN & Co. are 2-1, and yeah, I mean, unbelievable scenes. Outlast Black getting the job done, plain and simple. What an unbelievable match that me and my esteemed co-caster Kingfisher had a chance to call for you. Ladies and gentlemen, as of right now, though, for Outlast Black and KARN & Co. and for me and Kingfisher, that will be all for us specifically, ladies and gentlemen. 7-4 map 1, Outlast Black, then went on to win map 2, 8-7. Stick around though. After this break, we're going to have another set of casters in for you who are going to call another great game that has to do with Certified Lover Boys. They will be in that one. Ladies and gentlemen, stick around other side of this break. We'll see you next time.